I'm Pastor Mary Bauer, Discipleship Pastor here at First English. And today I'd like to spend just a little bit of time talking about childcare. You've got your small group formed, and now you're trying to decide what do we do with our own kids or the kids of those in our group. And I want you to know first, there is no one right answer to this question. Each group has to think about the ages and the activity levels of the kids, the members' kids in their group, and make a decision based on the particular needs of your particular group. So I'm just going to give various options, and then maybe as a group you can think about and talk over which one you think will work best for your group. The first one is the easiest, and that is simply to let kids come to group with you and be part of your group, be part of the conversation that happens. It's very easy, and your kids get to learn about and think about their faith as you are learning about and growing in your own faith. Of course, there are downsides to this also, and that is kids can be a real distraction, especially if there is a high energy level that's going on. And also, there are sensitive issues that you might want to talk about in a small group, and if there are kids present, there might be people that are reluctant to talk about those issues. So the second method is also very easy, and that is that each of the members of your group would find their own sitter that will come to their own home and take care of their own child care. The advantage of this is your kids get to stay on their own schedules and be in a situation that they're familiar with. And you're able to find a sitter that you are comfortable with. But the downside of it is that it can get very expensive. And sometimes it's hard to find a sitter, and if a person can't find a sitter, then they are not able to participate in group that evening. Another option is finding a home of a member nearby that you're able to bring all the kids to, and then finding a sitter that everyone is comfortable with that's able to take care of all the kids, one or possibly two sitters that are able to take care of the kids in that other home. The advantages to this are that the kids get to know one another, and also it's a bit less expensive because you're sharing the costs of that daycare. The trouble of that can be that sometimes it's hard to agree on a sitter. And also, there might not be the home of a member that's nearby, close enough nearby that you're comfortable leaving your kids there. So a way to deal with that particular downside is to do that same thing, but have your group meet at church. And then you're able to use a room that's nearby the nursery so that the sitters are able to bring the kids in if there's a particular need that's really pressing. Downside to that, of course, is that if the parents are nearby, the kids will want to be brought in to see them, and it's sometimes hard for a sitter to keep the kids away from the group as it's going on. Another option then is that you find another group that you can work together with, and they would meet at a different time and a different place than what you do, a different night of the week. So on your night of the week, two members from their group would come and watch your kids, and then on their night of the week, two members, or one, depending on the number of kids, would come and watch their kids. The upside of this is that it doesn't cost anything, and it gets the small groups working together and getting to know one another better. Of course, the downside of it is the logistics. Sometimes it's hard to make sure that everybody is on the same page about when things are going to happen, and if somebody has to cancel out of daycare, that might mean that the group can't meet that particular week. So the logistics in that method can be difficult. Finally, a way of meeting together and taking care of childcare is that you would take care of childcare within your own group. In other words, two members of your group would go and in the same house, everybody would bring their kids to the same house. 2 members of your group would go and watch the kids one week, and then a different 2 members would go the following week. And you would make sure that these 2 members were always 2 people of the same sex. If you don't say that, then couples would tend to want to do this activity together, and when couples do it together, it becomes a chore or a job. What is nice, there's a couple nice things about 2 people of the same sex doing this, is that they get to know one another better while they are serving together. They get to have conversation between themselves, and also all of us care that our kids get to know adults that can mentor them in their faith, that they can look up to, and that are safe people. And when you do this sort of childcare, your children get to know the other adults in their group, and they become a positive influence on your own children's life, which is a real plus, a real positive. Now the downsides are that 2 members have to leave your group, and so the dynamics change, and the contributions that they would have made are not present to everyone. Also, sometimes children want to come in and see their parents, and that makes it difficult if they're really nearby. Now, I hope in all these methods that you have found something that might work for your particular group, and sometimes maybe what works for a short period is something that has to be tweaked later on. So if you come up with another option, let us know so that we can pass it along to others. Blessings on you in your small group.